love the sheep. Jamie, collect those sheep.
Okay, back to your start, Mark, with the boy, please.
None of my family are in the theatre at all, really. But no, I started as a child through the local school. They were raising money for some parents' teachers association for something. Can't remember what it was for really now. And just a group. There was a lady involved who now has a theatre school called Sylvia Young, and she was just a mum who had 2 kids at the school, and she got a group of kids together to do an old-time musical act, and we did it at our local theatre, which is Stratford Theatre Royal, with I think Eve Boswell, who was a 50s singer, was on the bill, and Mike Reed, who's now in EastEnders. And it was just like a variety show, and from that we then went on to entertain the old folk, touring old people's homes and hospitals and things like that. And then she started up an agency, and I did lots of commercials and things like that as a kid, and then toured in Oliver. And then when I left school, I wasn't really sure it was a proper job as such, but gave it a go, and the rest is history, so they say.
Inside, please. Scene 25, inside.
Rowan, well, I should ask Dr. Rowan to join us.
I had a good job of telling you about that. You'd have come a right cropper, wouldn't you, if you'd had me in court and then it'd all come out that you'd fit.
You were seen on Lord Ashfordley's land coming out of a barn.
Right, now, can we take it as far as that? Yeah. Then I will stop the action and I'll do my little reposition and we can carry on with the second half.
Okay.
Hello, Sergeant.
Sorry to trouble you, Dr. Rowan, but can you confirm that you've seen this man this morning?
Greengrass, yes.
When was that exactly?
What, about 10 o'clock, was it, Claude?
Would you say?
I think so, would you say?
Yeah, well, I've been saying nothing else. It's a bloody cue for me, that
Oh, I
is.
see.
I've been saying nothing else for the last half an hour. Or something like that.
We should do that again.
Yeah, perhaps that's a good idea. Why didn't I think
I'll tell you something, I thought I
We'll
would.
go again. Okay.
Looking back, I was 22 when I first started on EastEnders. And nobody really prepares you for the success you're going to have, really. And you never really believe that people will respond to you in the way that they do. So first it's very flattering, you know. But you soon realise that there are drawbacks. But now, obviously, it's easier as you get older, and people are very nice, as long as people are nice to you, which the majority of them are, and, you know, you kind of have fun and games with the press every now and then, but basically it's all right if you're careful.
Are we going to do the hair?
Done. I'm going to brush it.
Yes, please.
Right then. I'm quite private anyway, really, so I like to stay indoors, and that suits me, and I go out with my friends, and I go to places where... Okay. I mean, if you want to be seen out, you can go out to Stringfellows every night, or out to some clubs in the West End and stuff, but that's not really my thing anyway. I like being with my mates, being with my family, and just doing what everybody does, really. If I'm not playing, then I like to watch football, really. I think that's my main relaxation. I do love football. It's a big part of my life, really.
Do you play still?
Yeah, I still play when I can, not up here, really. I've got a ball and we kick around in the car park sometimes, but I played in the summer break, that was nice.
Do you ever go to matches these days?
Well, I try to. I went on the last series, it worked out just right, really, because we have every other weekend off, and that was every time West Ham were playing at home. Whereas this time I think it's the reverse, so I might have to go and watch Charlton play because they're sharing our ground at the moment.
Okay. This time, I want to make sure. He's got away with far too much since you took over that big role, and I want him stopped.
This next episode is Nowt but a prank. It's about 2 neighbours who fell out years ago. Now, things are bad enough to start with, but when some local kids throw a spanner in the works, things get very nasty indeed.
you been?
I think I need a doctor.
I could send for Alex.
I'd rather have you. I better phone him first. Major Hutchison thought he heard burglars. He rushed downstairs with his shotgun and blew a picture off the wall. A life-size portrait of his great-grandfather. Oh, well. He knows where I am.
Ashfordley Police Station.
Now you're here, I can tell you what I've been thinking in the lonely hours. What I've decided to do with the rest of my life.
Oh, yeah.
On second thoughts, let's get you to bed.
Get off my line, you creeping thief! Listen, I've got to get to the village. Bottom road's closed. I've every right to use this road. I warned you. Get off my land! It's not your bloody land, it's a public right of way! You stupid fucker! Go on, run, you malingering bastard! Can't explain, I think it's love, trying to say to you, when I feel blue, can't explain. Hey, stop that, you lads, you'll frighten the horses!
Marigolds, geraniums, petunias. Smashing.
And you lads, no messing with my tubs, otherwise there'll be trouble. Now come on up it.
Aidensfield, please.
Mrs. Rowan, it's George from the pub.
Hello, George.
Is your husband there?
I'm afraid he's just popped out.
Oh, dear.
Can I take a message?
Tell him I've got a bunch of lads outside my pub sitting in my flower tubs. They're up to no good. Could he come round?
Look, George, if they do anything really dangerous, like stand up, then call back and I'm sure Nick will be round like a shot.
Well, I've warned you.
All right, then. Bye. Mob violence at Aidensfield Arms. And you, bed.
You got my magazine, then?
Aidensfield Police.
Is P.C. Rowan there?
I'm afraid he's asleep, Sergeant.
Asleep? It's gone 11.
He was out on duty till after 5.
Well, that's part of the job, Mrs. Rowan, and I'm phoning because I'm worried about him. He didn't phone in.
He did, actually.
Well, there's no record of it.
There was a call, Sarge. I was on the Carsey.
Can I take a message, Sergeant?
Yes. You can tell him I want him back here, on duty, in 1 hour. If it's constipation, I can give you the cure. Every morning, without fail, take a spoonful of black treacle. As much Epsom salts that you can get on the back of a sixpence. And you'll have no trouble.
Thank you very much, Sarge.
Come here! In here, Porno Max! I rang the hospital while you were asleep. Interviews should be quite soon.
Was Blaketon angry?
No more than usual. This hospital's got a pretty good reputation.
Did Jules ring back?
No?
Tell me all about the job tonight. Bye.
Looks like you, Paul.
Hey! Get out of it!
Do you want your comics, mister? Come on, attack! Eat like that.
Come here! You devil!
Get off! Get off!
The hell do you think you're playing at?
Look,
Come on, you're some kind of bloody idiot!
All right, now calm down. What's the trouble?
First, they break into my van and steal my property. Then they hitch this thing to the back. They could have caused serious damage.
I phoned you, didn't I? I said they were up to no good. Hooligans.
It was just a joke.
Bloody funny joke.
Right. Clear this mess up. Can I have your name, please?
It's them you should be talking to.
Yeah, all in
They should be
good time.
bloody flogged.
If I could see your licence. Thank you, Mr. Chapman. Now I know where to find you. Right, you lot. Come here. Who have we got here then? Paul Allenby, Graham Thompson. I don't know your name, but you live at Grove Cottage.
It was a joke. We didn't mean no harm.
Do you wish to press charges, Mr. Ward?
Too right I do.
Fair enough. I'll have to talk to your parents, of course.
Oh, don't do that. My dad will kill me.
You should have thought of that before.
We'll pay for it ourselves.
And how are you going to do that, then?
We'll get a Saturday job. We'll trash Fordley. We'll surely get something there.
They're not going to wriggle out of it.
Absolutely not. Look, the choice is yours, George. Either we play this by the book, which means juvenile courts, solicitors, hours of time, or we give them 2 weeks to come up with the cash to replace what they damaged.
Well, I got the barrels for Nowt. Off the brewery.
We'll call it 10 bob and give them a fortnight to pay.
Aye, all right, a fortnight, but not a second more.
Right, you lot. Get yourselves some odd jobs. You got a fortnight to earn 10 bob. Is that a deal?
Yes, sir.
Anything wrong, Mr. Chapman?
You're on my land.
This is a right of way. I've got a patient to see.
The only one lives beyond here is Radcliffe.
That's right.
This is my land. Use the other road.
The bottom road is blocked. I'm coming through.
Ever since Chapman bought that place, he's been stirring for trouble. Been a right of way for as long as I can remember.
Well, you don't normally use it, do you?
Walk past that trigger-happy lunatic every day, not likely.
You should talk to him.
I gave over talking to that chap nearly 20 years ago.
Really?
It's just flu, is it?
More a bit of cold, really.
I wanted to be sure.
Quite. Well, a couple of aspirins if you feel you need them. You'll be fine by the end of the week.
I didn't want to trouble you, but I wouldn't like to spread germs around your waiting room.
No, no. That doesn't stop a lot of people.
You know, you really must try to get out. Hmm? A change has seen to do you the world of good. How long is it since I've seen you around the village?
A month or two, maybe.
A year or two, more like.
You know, some treatment would help. I could refer you to a specialist.
A specialist?
A psychiatrist.
No, thank you, Doctor. We're quite happy. Dick does all the shopping and I look after the house.
Well, so be it. Now, you all right for insulin?
I will be wanting another prescription.
How have you been keeping?
Mustn't grumble.
Try not to do too much, eh? Your wife laid up, and now all this nonsense with Chapman.
Oh, tell you, if it wasn't for this bloody diabetes, I'd sort it out with that bugger once and for all.
Slight communications breakdown this morning, Nick.
No bother.
Yes, and I'm not sure that Oscar quite agrees.
Taking place, I can hear the guitars play lovely tunes.
10 bob each for the searchers.
Linda has been dying to see the searches. She'll be putty in my hands, mate.
Linda? What happened to Maureen?
Well, she was a Beatles fan. I can't be having that.
I must admit that, speaking melodically, I find the Beatles quite diverting.
If he does that one more time, I'm going to scream. So where have you been then? An all-nighter?
Yeah.
Ah. Sleeping Beauty. In my office. Now.
Every time that you walk in the
Chapman! Chapman! Clear this bloody road. Get this nonsense out of here. What about Radcliffe, eh? He's a sick man.
He doesn't know what pain is. Let him use the other road.
He said what?
He said, while we're living here, you're a policeman's wife and you should...
Should what?
Should wake me when he wants to talk to me.
I answer the telephone, I take your messages. I will not be a doormat to that man's ego.
Well, no one's asked you to be, love. Oh, come on, tell us about the job.
It's just a house job.
It's a big hospital. That's what you always liked. Middlesbrough. The job's in Middlesbrough.
So? It's not that far.
Oh, it wouldn't be like London again, would it? Hardly ever seeing each other.
We don't see a lot of each other at the moment, do we?
Aidensville Police.
Nick.
Alex.
Nick, do you know a farmer named Chapman?
Yeah, I know it.
Look, I need to talk to you.
Well, I'll be right over.
Would you ask Kate to come too?
OK. We'll be right over.
You're lucky nothing's broken. A bad fall at your age. It was foolish to have driven.
Well, what else could I do? He left me lying there in the road. You really ought to have a word, you know, Nick. I mean, the man's a menace.
Access disputes aren't really a police matter.
Access disputes? What, threatening people, barbed wire all over the place?
What's the story with Chapman?
Well, he came from Perth or thereabouts. Moved here just after the war. Hey! I thought Casualty had done quite a good job.
Just checking.
How long's he had this dispute with Radcliffe?
Oh, on and off for years, but it all seems to have flared up since the bottom road's been blocked.
And what about the Radcliffes?
Well, I see quite a lot of them. He's diabetic and she... Oh, well, it's all nerves. She hasn't been out of the house for ages. Agoraphobia, I suppose. I really ought to persuade her to have some treatment.
You won't be doing anything for a week or so.
Oh, I could cope with surgery. I was just wondering if perhaps you'd be kind enough to act as my locum. Just for house visits.
But I'm a woman, Alex. How could I cope?
Well, I suppose I could get someone from North Allerton at... Well, as you know the area.
Is that my sole qualification?
I'm asking you, Kate. I'm not begging. A couple of days should do it.
A week, minimum. Deal?
What about Middlesbrough?
Thank you.
You can spend a week out here just breathing.
You do like it, don't you?
Yeah, I'm getting to love it. Everything happening in its own place.
I love being driven to work by the village policeman.
The doctor's not badly hurt.
No, it's just a sprain. But as my husband was coming up here anyway, I thought I should introduce myself. Put a face to the name, in case of emergency.
Well, that is kind, Mrs. Doctor.
Rowan.
Isn't it, Dick?
You want to run that bugger in?
Dick, please.
Are we talking to him, Mr. Radcliffe?
He thinks I'm after his land. I'm not.
Mr. Chapman bought his farm after the war?
Aye. Oh, Patterson passed away in 44. Place went up for sale.
So you could have bought it?
I could. But we didn't want it. I'd got what I wanted.
There is one other thing.
Huh?
Well, it's a favour, really. There's these three lads.
Dr. Ferrenby told me about your problem. How long have you been afraid of going out?
A while.
If you were to see a specialist, it could help.
Dick and I live very quietly. Nothing ever happened to us.
How long have you been married?
45.
A wartime romance?
No. The man I intended to marry was killed in the war.
I see.
Kate, I should be getting back.
Yes, I'm ready. Dr. Ferrenby mentioned he'd given you a prescription. Did you get your insulin?
No, not yet. I'll take tractor down later and get it.
Or we'll give you a lift.
Oh, right, thanks.
Bye-bye.
I'll have your dinner ready.
No?
You won't have to be long.
No, righto.
Any luck so far?
Nah, they just tell us to piss off.
Well, this is Mr. Radcliffe. We're just popping down to the village. You'll see you when he gets back. It's the next farm but one, a couple of miles up the hill, all right?
Couple of miles.
Hey! Get out of it!
We're off to see Radcliffe!
That'll be bloody right. I said get! On the double!
Don't shoot, mein Capitan! We surrender!
What we're gonna do? I don't know. What about the job the copper said?
Shut the job. He shot us, didn't he? Come on.
Unless Blaketon cooks something up, I guess I'll be sleeping at home tonight.
Sleeping? You'll be lucky.
Dr. Rowan?
Yes?
I heard you were standing in for Dr. Ferrenby.
What's the problem?
Well, I've got this lump.
You really ought to go to the surgery.
Dr. Ferrenby's all right. It's just that, well, it's just that when it comes to women's things...
Well, you better come inside. Just to make absolutely sure, I'll refer you to a specialist. He may want to do a test, a biopsy, but then you'll know for certain there's nothing to worry about. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sergeant, he's out.
It's you I wanted to see, Mrs. Rowan. May I come in?
I'm in the middle of a consultation.
Consultation, eh?
Yes, so if you could wait in the office, if you don't mind. I'll let you know as soon as the arrangements have been made.
Thanks, Doctor. It's a weight off my mind. Bye.
Bye.
I wasn't aware this was a surgery.
No, it's not.
This house, Mrs. Rowan, is police property, and you are
Yes,
a...
I know. I'm just a policeman's wife. But I also happen to be a doctor, and I have a job to do.
Mrs. Rowan, we seem to have got off on the wrong foot. But my sole concern is to ensure the efficient running of my section.
And I can assure you, I help my husband in his work, as I always have. Had there been an emergency yesterday morning, I would have dragged him from his bed and driven him to work myself. I just thought Nick would be a more efficient copper if he'd had a few hours' sleep.
That's very thoughtful, Mrs. Rowan. But it's not for you to decide when and if he gets his sleep.
No, Sergeant.
Alf, any form on a bloke called Chapman out at Callum Rig?
Chapman moved here after the war. Ex-army man, as I recall. Bought Callan Rig from someone called Patterson. At least I think he was called Patterson. Form on Chapman? No.
Stupid
bloody woman.
What's up?
You trying to burn me out?
Oh, I've just been down at village getting my prescription.
Yeah, you sent those brats here, and that copper.
No.
But you had to come.
Hey,
you had to see the damage I've done.
Bloody stupid
Oh,
bugger.
come on.
Got to go on.
You come and see the damage
I
I've
must
done.
have some food.
Come on. Get in there.
Come on, let's get out of here. We've got to tell someone.
Not bloody likely.
It's going to kill him. We've got to. Come on.
So I told him I had a job to do.
Yeah, for a week.
What?
You're standing in for Alex for a week. I have to work with Blaketon full time.
Do you want me to practice medicine?
Of course, this hospital job sounds great.
Blaketon's used to trampling over submissive little wifeys. Well, he's not trampling over me.
I'll get it. Aidensfield Police.
Chapman's got my husband prisoner. He's diabetic, you know. If he doesn't get food soon, he'll be in trouble.
Mr. Chapman? Mr. Chapman? Mr. Radcliffe?
Get out, you bloody lunatic! Get out, get out! Fucking
Mr.
shut me out 20 years ago! You bloody lunatic! Bloody lunatic!
Chapman! Mr. Chapman!
Mr. Radcliffe. Mr. Radcliffe.
Stay at the gate, Rowan. We're on our way.
Contact my wife, Sarge.
It was your wife contacted me when you didn't turn up for tea. Now, we'll be with you as soon as we can.
Chapman's got Radcliffe locked upstairs.
Is he conscious?
Barely.
We've got to get him out of there. If he doesn't get food, it could be serious.
Chapman's house, it's weird. It's like a married couple live there. I found these.
My God. Changi. 1945.
What do you mean, like a married couple?
Well, it's pretty. Like a woman lives in it, or lived in it.
Mary Radcliffe.
Hmm?
I think she knows what's between her husband and Chapman. I was looking through Radcliffe's medical files. His wife's maiden name is Patterson.
Well, Chapman bought the farm from someone called Patterson.
That's right. I remember. Patterson left it to his daughter, Mary. She sold it to Chapman.
We've got to see her.
Right, let's go. Ventures, keep an eye on Chapman's, please.
Hey, Sarge, shouldn't we get the firearm, boys?
We're not a Wild West show, Ventress. There's been enough shooting already. In any case, by the time they get here, Radcliffe could be dead.
We're nearly there. Up here. Get down, Kate.
Nearly there, my ass. We have to know what the feud's about, Mrs.
I
Radcliffe.
don't know. Like my husband told you, land.
Is there nothing more you can tell us?
I just want my husband back safe.
Who lived at Callanrigg before Mr. Chapman, Mary? It was you and your father, wasn't it? This isn't just about what happened between your husband and Mr. Chapman. I think it's about you as well. You must try and tell us. Your husband could die.
I was engaged to Matthew Chapman before the war. We planned to live at Callanrigg together. The war came. Matthew was sent to the Far East. He was captured at Singapore. I had nothing more. I had no idea whether he was alive or dead. Dick Ratcliffe started courting me. His condition kept him out of the forces. My father died. I was alone in the house. I'd heard nothing of Matthew. I felt sure he must be dead. So I married Dick Ratcliffe, put Callanrigg up for sale, and we moved here. No one bought the farm. One day, well after the war, a man came to the door. He was so changed, I didn't recognize him. Until he said he wanted to buy Callanrigg. For me. I said, you can't. You're dead. Then he saw Dick Ratcliffe come up beside me, and he said, I am now. Since then, this.
You stayed.
I'd made my bed.
Come and see them now.
I can't. I can't go down there.
If he dies, it'll be worse for Chapman.
I can't.
You must. You can save both of them. Conquer your fear. Stop pretending Matthew Chapman died 20 years ago. Face up to him.
Chapman! There's someone out here who wants to talk to you.
Where the hell?
It's Mary. Mary Patterson.
Sergeant, I must get to Radcliffe.
Chapman! We want to send a doctor into Radcliffe.
To hell with Radcliffe!
If he dies, it'll be murder.
Right. Round the back. And no heroics, all right? Right. Come with me. Prentice, go back to base.
Let me see you, Mary. Don't move!
I'm a doctor, Mr. Chapman.
Don't you move! Why have you come, Mary?
I had to see you. You're killing my husband.
Why is it always him? I kept the house for you, Mary.
What else could I do? 3 years, Matthew, I had nothing. I thought you were dead.
There was death everywhere. I was alive.
I know. I was wrong. But I can't live my whole life suffering for that mistake. It's 20 years ago.
Oh, it's yesterday.
Let him go, Matthew.
He stole you from me, Mary. That wasn't enough. He tried to destroy this house. And all I'd left of you.
That wasn't Radcliffe. That was just a bunch of kids. It was a prank. Got out of hand.
A prank?
Aye. That's all it was. Now give me the gun, Matthew. I was out east too. Singapore, 1945. I know about Changi. I can understand what you went through. And I can understand that you had something worth living for back here.
And then I came home. So you understand this? No! Oh, thank you.
An injection of glucose, Sergeant. It's amazing how quick the recovery can be.
They've taken Chapman, Sarge.
We'll look after Mrs. Radcliffe.
Well, Dr. Rowan, you were most impressive. Both of you. Thanks.
this is what it's like in prison. Once that door's shut, there's no way out. Now, last night, 2 men very nearly died, and several others, including yours truly, were put in mortal danger. And all because of the irresponsible behaviour of these 3 lads. Now, as you well know, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, Mr. Allenby, Mr. Hawkins.
Good son.
Well, they'll give you more trouble. Are you going to be late for your searches?
Is that it? No, it can't. I'll keep out of that. Oh, my God. Manchester train. London.
Well, I wish you were half as keen to clock on.
The Eggman strikes back.
Kate!
Alex! Fork or trowel?
Oh, I've been hearing all about your gallant exploit last night. Sergeant Blaketon singing your praises. And I've been thinking perhaps I do need a bit of help. And by help, I mean an assistant, and I thought of you.
Alex.
Hello there.
Hello.
Well, now, what do you say?
Not long ago, you tore a strip off me for advising a girl to go on the pill. And you only asked me to do your house visits because I know the area. Now, suddenly, you're asking me to join your practice.
Well, after last night, I know what you can do. What do you say?
Oh, that's terrific, Kate. Of course you'll do it, won't you?
Thanks for the offer, Alex. We'll think about it.
Will we?